Yes, I am applying for a mortgage on one salary. No, I did not bring a co-signer. I brought a bag of wet lettuce and a nap schedule. The otter behind the desk has not blinked in 4 minutes. She is vibrating slightly. Capy is comfortable. I want a swamp, not a house near a swamp, the swamp. 3 acres of standing water, 1 lily pad zoned for storage, and a mangrove I intend to call the master bedroom. The listing described it as cozy, damp, and structurally optimistic, which for me is a love letter written by a real estate agent who has given up. This is the part of every finance channel where a narrator says buying property is a huge decision that requires careful planning and a licensed professional. It is. I have decided. I planned it during a nap. Moving on.
The office is small, fluorescent, and smells like anxiety and printer toner. There is a jar of stress candy on the desk that is already half empty at 9 in the morning. A wall clock ticks too loud. A motivational poster of a sunrise reads, "Approved." Somewhere behind the filing cabinet, a fax machine screams like it has seen things. Okay, let's get you pre-qualified. I just need your income, your employment, your assets, and your debts. And then we'll calculate your debt-to-income ratio, which is the single most important number in your entire life. More important than your name, your birthday, or the people you love. Deep breath for both of us. What do you do for work?
I float, professionally. I float in warm water and I allow small birds to remove parasites from my back. It is a stable, seasonal, weather-dependent income with strong repeat clientele and excellent word of mouth among the local heron community. The birds tip in bugs, some tip more than others. There is one starling who overtips.
Float. You wrote float. That is a verb, not a job title, and my system does not accept verbs. It accepts a W-2 and a pay stub and a supervisor's phone number. Does the water give you a W-2? Does the bird file quarterly? Does the starling have an HR department I can call?
The bird does not do payroll. The bird does not know what payroll is. The bird knows 2 things, bugs and my back. That is a healthier, more honest work relationship than most humans have with the company, slowly deleting their pension. The bird has never once scheduled a meeting that could have been a chirp.
Okay, single income, 1 salary, fine. We can work with 1 salary if the number is big enough and the swamp appraises. So tell me, the swamp you want, what is the purchase price? Give me a real number I can put in a real box on a real form that a real bank will read with real eyes.
6,000 acorns and a promise. The seller is a very tired heron who just wants out. He has been standing in that water on 1 leg since spring, staring at the horizon like a widower in a period drama. He is deeply spiritually motivated to sell.
6,000. Those aren't real acorns, are they? Please tell me those are dollars. Tell me, Acorns is a cute finance app nickname for dollars, the way apps call your savings buckets and your debt a journey. People do that now. Tell me you're being trendy and not literal.
They spend the same if you believe hard enough. Belief is the real currency. Acorns are just belief you can hold in a satchel. The heron and I are aligned on this. Frogs are less sure, but frogs rarely are.
I do not believe hard enough. It is my whole job, my entire professional identity, to not believe hard enough. I am the human speed bump between dreams and reality, and I am very good at my job, which is ruining afternoons like this one. Let's talk secondary income. Do you have any additional revenue streams? Please have something normal.
I do. Napping. It is my strongest performing asset, diversified across morning, afternoon, and what the tourists call golden hour. Very reliable, very scalable.
Napping. Napping is a revenue stream. Explain to me, slowly, using small words, exactly how the act of being asleep generates measurable income that a federally regulated bank can verify with documentation. Take your time. I have a candy jar and apparently nowhere better to be with my one wildlife.
I nap on high-visibility logs during peak foot traffic hours. Tourists photograph me. The nature app pays per verified sighting, and my sightings convert beautifully because I photograph well while unconscious. I am functionally an influencer who is asleep. Passive income. Emphasis on passive, emphasis on income.
You want me to list napping under other income on a federal mortgage document, in writing, with my name and my license number on it, where an auditor named Deborah will one day find it during a routine review and end my entire career with a single highlighted line?
Yes. And being calm, if there's a field for it. It's my second strongest asset. Consistently outperforms the market. Uncorrelated with everything. The birds respect it.
There is no field for being calm. There is no field for being calm. I checked. I checked twice, then I checked with corporate. Section 4B is blank in our software and it haunts me at night. I lie awake wondering what belongs in 4B. It is for rental income. It is not and has never been for vibes.
Everything is rental income if you rent out the vibe. I rent my vibe to the entire swamp. The frogs pay in quiet, the dragonflies pay in ambience, the heron pays in leaving. It is a diversified portfolio of peace.
The pen has now been clicked 40 times. There is a sticky note on the monitor that reads DTI equals destiny. 3 candy wrappers sit in a small guilty pile beside the keyboard. The otter's tail is thumping against the floor in a slow, ominous rhythm. The tail always thumps before the spiral. Okay, moving on before I chew this pen clean in half. Let's do your monthly debts. This is the easy part. Everyone has debts. Credit cards, a car loan, student loans, a mattress you're still financing, that gym membership you forgot about in 2019. Just list them and we move forward like adults.
0. I have no debts. I have never wanted anything badly enough to owe someone for it. Except the mangrove, and the mangrove is being paid in acorns.
0. Nobody has 0. 0 is not a real answer. It's a red flag wearing a little disguise and whistling innocently. What is your credit history? Give me a score. Give me a number the credit bureau has whispered about you in the dark. Give me anything but a void.
I have never borrowed anything in my life. I take naps I cannot afford emotionally. But that does not report to the bureau. I owe nothing to no one except the birds, and I pay them in access to my back, which they accept gladly, without interest, without late fees, without a single automated email.
So you have no debt and no credit, which means the system doesn't see a person, it sees a ghost. A financial ghost. You don't exist to the algorithm. You are a rumor. A calm, damp rumor with a bag of lettuce sitting in my chair, ruining my Tuesday.
A calm, wet ghost, the best kind of ghost. We haunt gently, we ask for nothing, and we pay in cash. Most ghosts want to scare you. I just want the mangrove and to be left alone for 19 hours.
The calculator now says ERR, not once, every single time, in increasingly aggressive lettering. A printed spreadsheet has slid off the desk and is lying face down on the floor, having given up on this life. The fluorescent light overhead flickers in what can only be described as solidarity with the machine. Let me get this straight. One income, made of floating, down payment in acorns. Secondary income is being unconscious in front of tourists. You have no debt, no credit, no supervisor, and no verifiable existence. And you want 3 acres of a literal, standing, insurable, in no way swamp.
Correct. You forgot the mangrove. The mangrove is the whole reason I am here. The mangrove is the master bedroom. Everything else is negotiable. The lily pad, the standing water, the frogs. But the mangrove is not and never will be.
I did not forget the mangrove. The mangrove is in my nightmares now. I dreamed about your mangrove last night, and in the dream it also had no verifiable income and no comparable sales, and it looked at me. Let me pull comparable sales before I lose what is left of my mind.
There are no comparable sales. Nobody has ever bought this swamp in recorded history. The last offer was a family of frogs and they paid in tadpoles. It fell through. The tadpoles grew legs, developed opinions, and reneged. It got legal.
That is not a data point I can amortize. I've never seen a debt-to-income ratio like this because there is no income and there is no debt. It's just a capybara and a dream and a bag of lettuce staring at me from a chair while a heron waits patiently in the distance for his freedom.
Breathe into the candy jar if you need to. It has helped many otters before you. Probably it is at least a container, and in moments like this, a container is enough. Take your time. The swamp is not going anywhere. That is the entire appeal of a swamp.
I do need to. I'm going to. Don't look at me. This is a normal Tuesday for a loan officer. Everything is fine. The ratio is fine. Nothing about the ratio is fine. The ratio has left the realm of mathematics. Keep talking. I'm listening from inside the jar. My voice just echoes now.
Here is the thing you keep missing, and it is the only thing that matters. You are working very hard to prove that I can afford a monthly payment. I am not asking for a monthly payment. I have the acorns now, cash, the whole 6,000 in a satchel, under this very chair the entire time. I do not need your loan. I never did. Capy does not require financing. Capy requires a swamp, a mangrove, and roughly 19 hours of uninterrupted, tourist-monetized sleep. The loan was never the point. The loan is not even in the top 5 things I care about.
Then why are you in my office? Why did we do the entire form? I recalculated a ratio for a purchase you already funded. I chewed a pen. I befriended a candy jar. I dreamed about your mangrove. You came in here for what? For fun? For recreation?
I wanted to see the ratio, pure curiosity. Also, the candy is genuinely good, and the chair is surprisingly supportive for a place this stressful. I may come back, not for a loan, just for the chair, the candy, and the ambiance of a person unraveling. She wanted to see the ratio. The ratio, for the record, is undefined. You cannot divide serenity by 0. Capy has broken the calculator, the otter, and the concept of risk in that order without raising his heart rate once.
I have to write undefined in the box. My manager is going to think I broke the calculator. He's going to make a slide about it. There's going to be a whole all hands titled "The Day the Otter Met a Ghost with a Swamp," and I will have to present it.
Your manager thinks a lot of things. Most of them are slides. Slide 4 will be a goose. It usually is. It always circles back to the goose. I have watched this happen before, from a warm log, at a comfortable distance.
You know what? I'm going to approve you. I don't know why. There's no risk, there's no debt, there's just a very relaxed rodent with cash and a swamp that nobody else on this earth would ever, under any circumstances, want. Approved. Fully approved. Congratulations, I guess. Please leave before I understand what just happened.
I'll take the swamp. Keep the pen. It's been through enough today. Give it to the next person who tells you the ratio is destiny. It will need something to bite, and you will need something to blame.
He left a single wet lettuce leaf on the chair as a tip. The candy jar is empty. The fax machine has, for the first time all day, stopped screaming, as if in mourning or relief. Somewhere out there, a swamp has a new owner, and the heron on one leg is, at long last, finally free.
So she approved a loan I did not need for a swamp I already bought with a napping income the birds tipped me for. 6,000 acorns and a promise. I kept the promise. I napped on it.